Yeah, obviously a better bounce back for Northwestern. I thought that the first half of that game defensively was exceptional. I thought we played very, very well. I thought we addressed Northwestern's physicality. I think they're one of the more physical teams in the Big Ten when it comes to screening, when it comes to just pushing up everything, being very physical. And I thought we did a really nice job of matching the point of attack. The ball screen with Leach, especially in the first half. Morez on Martinelli. The physicality, I think, was important. Bam did a nice job on Barnheiser. But a little slow start offensively, and then we got cooking. Stops led to transition. Great ball movement. We creased the defense, found the paint. And then a game that we made really good rim decisions. And so that was nice to see. Next up is Nebraska, a team that this year has been elite on the defensive side. I think they were as high as 4 maybe in the Ken Palm. On the defensive side, they do what they do. Fred's got another very, very good group. They give up they force you into some things offensively that they're very comfortable with in terms of guarding. They take away post-ups. Bryce Williams is having just an outstanding year playing on the ball for them. Gary's had some very big games. Those are familiar names. And then a name that's switched jerseys but's been familiar with the Big Ten, Jen's having a fabulous year, shooting plus 40% from 3 and a double-digit score. So great environment. Pinnacle Bank's one of the great arenas in the league, and the Husker fans always show up and expecting a tough night.
It seems like adjusting to the absence of Thomas Law was a major factor against Northwestern. You seeing that in practice? You expect it to continue?
Yeah, we were able to work on it, and again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it was the sicknesses, and we've still had some of that. Carey's been out, with the flu, so it's running its course through our team, but just being able to prepare, have a couple of days to make some adjustments, and then I thought we did a nice job, with our cross match with Ben and Morez. Morez did a great job. So it's nice to be able to prepare, and then we did some things offensively, which were a little bit different in terms of not having Tommy as a playmaker. We did some things different with Morez.
Brad, Tommy's been starting to feel better. Has he been around you guys a lot in terms of being in the building? Okay.
No, we see him periodically. He's spending most of his time with the doctors and Fletch and the training staff and using all of our modalities with the hyperbaric oxygen chambers and infrareds to try to expedite the best you can this process. But this process is what it is. So. It's just it's a gradual deal.
In your experience, Brad, is there ever a silver lining to dealing with the adversity of missing somebody?
Absolutely. You never like it as a coach. I don't. But I also have been around long enough to understand that you're going to be forced to do different things. And this team has great capabilities of doing that. We played without 2 of our best players, throughout the first half of conference play. So we've had, 5-6 games now, where we haven't had our whole group. So, adjusting on the fly, it's a tribute to these guys, how a young team has been able to handle that. It shows their basketball IQ, their intelligence. But the best thing about the Northwestern game is we got our edge back, and we played with a little fire in our belly, which helps.
Hearing that, just to be clear, Tommy won't be available tomorrow, I'm assuming?
No, he will not be.
What was the process of maybe redefining roles after you maybe found a rhythm, and then even if it's only temporarily, just to kind of shake it up?
Yeah, it takes a second, and you got again, this group has done a phenomenal job of that. You know, we experienced that last year for 6 games. You know, you can't retweak everything. You just have to make small adjustments, and you know, those adjustments we've handled within the course of our and scope of what we do, especially on the offensive end. You know, defensively, it throws us a little bit of a wrinkle, not having 7'1", 250 in there, but you know, we've handled it for the most part pretty well.
Brad, you're going to have 2 guys, their jerseys lifted to the rafters, and within a matter of like 5 days, your third players to do that. What's that mean to you, or what's that week going to mean to you?
Yeah, I got to reflect on that a little bit. You know, it's pretty special. You know, and it's a tribute to how hard each of those guys worked, and you know what they have meant to me and my family, and what they have meant to the program. Is just a, you know, your heartfelt thanks, and what they've done for this program is elevate it to where it is now. And you know, we often forget the struggles, and you know, remembering Io as a freshman, remembering Kofi as a freshman, and now to see the consensus All-American status that they played to, that's hard to do. And you know, to have 3 of them, pretty cool. I'll take some time and reflect on that, because it's, you know, it's 3 and 8 years, and you know, it's a tribute to our staff for developing them, for recruiting them, but most importantly to them. And I think this is what makes Illinois so special, is you put their name in the rafters, and they're celebrated, and our fans get to enjoy that. So really excited for those 2 to get back and feel that love again.
When you scheme it up with Morez, is there any comparison to what you were doing with Kofi before? Just
No. We were with Kofi. It was all post ups, and you know, it was on the defensive side. I'm not sure there's anybody on the court that Morez can't guard. But Kofi was a little more limited to just basically guarding some centers and being in some drop coverage, and Morez is a very, very gifted athlete. He's laterally as good as anybody we have, and then he's 255 pounds. So they're different. You know, they're different in ball screens. So it's you know, Morez has got some true gifts that you know, we're just starting to utilize, and they are different than Tommy, and they're quite a bit different than Kof.
On this day in college basketball, how do you get the buy-in from the bench guys to be able to have the production that they've given you?
Character. Find guys that want to compete. I think that starts in the recruiting process. I think it's something that we've, you know, we test for. We test for personality. We test for guys who want to win, guys who want to compete, guys who want to work. We find all that out, so it's a big part of it. You know, it's sacrifice, it's commitment, and yet it's so rewarding for all those guys. And you know, we've got the best bench maybe that we've had. We've got the best bench that we've. You know, I wouldn't trade them for anybody in the country. So I'm ecstatic with the growth and the way these guys are performing.
How would you kind of describe Will's journey so far this year, the ups and downs? How have you kind of seen him develop here?
Exceptional. Think that he's reclassed. Think that he's had some big games, and he had them early, and so that readjusts where you go in the scouting report in terms of, but just his growth. And it was neat because his high school and their coach were in here the other night, and just to hear them talk and to see his growth, especially on the defensive side, to see him add 20 plus pounds, to go through all of that, and for a young guy to he's never wavered. He's extremely competitive. His work ethic hasn't changed. I couldn't be more proud or pleased with his development.
You said Nebraska will force you into shots that they want you to take. How do you kind of counter that and then impose your will a little bit?
You know, patience. You know, they're a team that, again, they're going to take away post-ups, and there's not a lot of those. Fortunately for us, we don't do a lot, so it kind of becomes a battle of wills. But you know, you got to move them. They're very, very good with their double teams. They're very good and have great size. You know, so they're going to give you some opportunities that you've got to take advantage of, and we'll see if we can exploit that.
Is there anything you're seeing with Will that can lead to more efficiency in terms of jump shots? Is it as far as the process, where they're coming, how they're looking?
I think the one thing that just comes is confidence to make easy shots. Will's a really, really good hard shot maker. And he's very gifted at getting to his spots. I don't know if I've coached a player that's 6'8", 6'9". He's just shy of 200 pounds now, but thin, and that gets to his spots as easily as he does. And then he can do a lot with it. But it's the easy ones, you know, and it's the learning to take the physicality, learning to grow into wanting to get fouled. Those things come with time. I liken back to Io's freshman year, and you know, Io had a hard time with that as well, and became one of the elite finishers in college basketball just with strength and time. So, but his confidence is growing. You know, it's unfortunate he plays great in the Michigan State game and then gets the flu and gets sidelined a little bit with that. But he's had a good practice yesterday, and expect that today to keep building.
Are there specific things with this group that you've seen that you like about going on the road with them? Because you've had a lot of success, you know, away from home this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's focus. I think that, you know, our teams have always played pretty good, you know, and tried to on the road. I think there's you know, maybe it's like, you know, we like people booing at us and screaming at us and cussing at us, and but it's, you know, every game's different, and every focus and every matchup, and court's 94 feet, the rim's 10 feet, and you know, that sounds very cliche, but we're just going to go out and play the best against that opponent, no matter where it's at.
When you try to reinstill or reignite edge in a team, is there a certain guy you start with, like know that could permeate, or see that person has that you're feeling good about where that's trending?
Yeah, every team's got a guy out, for lack of a better term, I'll pick on. But you know, I usually like to find the guy that I can agitate the most and irritate the most and get under their skin. So I won't reveal who that is. I wouldn't want to give away any secrets, but every team's got one. But every team's got one that, you know, last year it was TJ, and when he was gone, it was Marcus. I love to see if I could get Marcus to, you know, almost tears. I did. I mean that, you know, in a good way. He would turn really red, and you know, Coleman and I obviously had our moments as well, which were fun, but it's all to create the energy, to create the vibe, to create the competitive spirit that you have to play with. And as often as we can do that in practice, then the more it becomes habit. And so yeah, we've got a few that I can push the buttons on.
You just named off some of the best players you've had on this. Does it have to be your best
No.
player or one of them?
No, it was Andre Svili. Well, I mean, you know, I didn't have to with Trent. Kofi and I had some moments, but yeah, I mean, it helped. But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna, you know, we had Keaton Kuchar going the other day, and Keaton made about 25 in a row and got amped up, and then he started talking a little trash and against the starters, and that was fun. And it's just a different, you know, it can be different week to week, but you know, there's different ways to motivate guys and challenge them, and you know, fortunately, I've been pretty good at that throughout my career as a coach, to find that edge with guys that have it permeate then through our team.
With Morez, what's kind of the next step with him? We saw what he can do, career type of game. What do you-
Consistency. That's my big thing with him all week is, you played a really solid game. You came off a game you started against Maryland. You got your tail kicked, and now you got to go do that again. And just don't get out of character. Be who you are, but do what you do consistently every single night. And when he does that, he's a problem. And that athleticism, that strength, is a problem. So we just want him to be as consistent on both sides of the floor as he can be.